Welcome to part 15 in this series of videos where we create a birthday reminders application using Blazor and C#. In this video, we'll look at restricting record access. As we have it at the moment, all users will be able to view every other user's friends and relations, including their dates of birth. This is definitely undesirable, possibly even illegal. To avoid this possibility, we must restrict the list of people to only those added by the logged in user. Since we will restrict the list of people to those added by the logged in user, the column showing to whom the email reminder should be sent is redundant. It will always just show the email of the currently logged in user. We can therefore remove this column. The list of people is currently displayed in the sequence in which the records were added. It would probably be helpful to be able to sort the data as well, for example by name or birthday, but not necessarily by date of birth, although that could be interesting. We're going to limit the list of people displayed by using a new SQL stored procedure, and we'll be passing into that stored procedure the currently logged in user's email as a parameter and returning only those people with that email address as the contact. With this new SQL stored procedure in place, we'll need to modify the person service and the iPerson service to take account of the new stored procedure, and then we'll need to modify the index page so that the grid is always populated by using the new stored procedure where we pass in the user's email address. We'll also tidy up one or two other things. Right, let's have a look at the code. We will start this process by creating a SQL stored procedure that will take as a parameter the email address of the currently logged in user and restrict the records returned to those with the same email address. We already calculate next birthday and age next birthday in another stored procedure, and we can steal the code for that and use it here as well. So I've already got the stored procedure ready. So I'll open the code for that. And I'm calling it stored procedure person get by user. I'm passing in the person's email address, person send email reminder to, as a parameter. And then I'm selecting the ID of the person, first name, last name, date of birth, and who to send the reminder to. But these are the two additional lines I've got. Next birthday, which is calculated using the next birthday function, and the age next birthday, which is the date difference from the date of birth and the next birthday. Now, the next birthday function we added down here as a scalar value. And if I just look at that to modify it, you'll see that the function takes in the date of birth, and we have two variables being returned, current age and next birthday. We're actually going to return the next birthday, but we need the current age calculated. So we calculate the current age and then calculate the next birthday. So that's that function there. So we use that to calculate the next birthday and the age next birthday. Then I'm saying from the person table, where the person to send the reminder to is the same as the email address being passed into the stored procedure. And I'm ordering it by next birthday in ascending sequence. So we should get the very next birthday at the top of the grid. So that's the stored procedure. Let me just parse it and execute it. And if I refresh this, we should see that we've now got that there. So that's creating the stored procedure. And if we now hop back into Visual Studio, In the person service, we've got a number of methods here already, one of which is to get the person list. And we want something similar to this that will allow us to pass in the currently logged in user and return a list of people that meet that requirement. So I've already got the code here, so I'm going to paste it in here. So it's get people based on the logged in user email. So we're creating an enumerable person get by user, and we're passing in the person to send the reminder to. We're declaring an enumerable of people, and we're passing in the parameters, the person to send the reminder to, and then we just follow the same pattern as before. So having got that there, we need to now modify iPersonService to include this. So it doesn't matter where we put it. Why don't I put it after here? So all we now need to do is to modify the index page to replace the places where we use person list with this new person get by user. So let's open index. And we should see here. So on initialized async, when the page opens, we populate people with the person service person list. We want to replace that with our new version, which is this. So instead of getting all the people, we only get it for the currently logged in user. So let me just comment that out. And what we're looking for is person list. This is not just the only place where it happens, where we repopulate the grid. We repopulate the grid after editing, adding and deleting users. So we'll need to go and find those. So I'm going to press Control F for find. And I'm going to search for person list in the current document. So let's go and find the next one. And again, I'm just going to paste in the replacement and comment out the old. Right, so that's got all those replaced. And if we run it now, we should see that we only get the records for the currently logged in users. Let's have a quick look at that. So I'm going to log in as Christopher Bell at Blazor Code, and we should only see records with Christopher Bell at Blazor Code displayed, as indeed we do. Now if I log out and log in again, this time I'll log in as a different user, and we should just see records for Blazor Code at Gmail. And indeed we do. So the restriction is working. But I think we can improve on this. We don't need this column any longer because it'll always be the person logged in, and we can probably put in there the next birthday and possibly the age of the person at the next birthday. So let's look at that. So the grid up here currently shows first name, last name, date of birth, and who to send the reminder to. We can get rid of those completely. So I'm just going to comment that out. And we could have the first column as the next birthday. So let me make a bit of space here, and I'll paste in the code that I've got prepared for that. So we've got person.nextBirthday. I've got a header saying next birthday. The format is a date, and it's aligned left. So we've got next birthday, first name, last name, date of birth. I think as well it might be nice to have the age next birthday, and we could put that in here, I think. So I'm just going to copy one of these columns. I'll copy that one. And paste it in here. And it's person, age next birthday. The format is not D. And it's column type number. And we'll have it aligned right. So we'll just check that. So I'll log in as Blazor Code just to show that we get just those records. And indeed we do. So we've got next birthday, first name, last name, age next birthday, and date of birth. Let me log out and log in as my other user. So that looks good. So we're showing these in the next birthday sequence, and we've got the age next birthday and date of birth. So that looks good. What might be interesting is to be able to sort, so that we can sort by families or first name, so it allows us to find somebody. So we'll look at that next. Now, to allow sorting, all we have to do is on toolbar items, we just need to add in here this, allow sorting equals true. We could also add in there filtering. I don't know if that's necessary, but we could add it if we wanted to. So one more go with this. I'll log in as my usual user. And we should now be able to sort by any column. So clicking on the column heading changes the sequence. So that's exactly what I wanted. However, I ought to test that we can add a new record, edit a record, and delete a record without the system causing problems. Now that one says last name Smithy. Perhaps that's a mistake. Perhaps I'll edit that and get rid of Smithy and save it. That still works. Let's add one. That works. We're not getting in anybody else in here for any other user, so that's fine. So let's now delete one. And that's all okay. There is one last annoying thing, and that is when I log out, I get this signed out message, and that's the standard Azure B2C sign out. But it would be much better if I could go back to the login. After a fair amount of investigation, I did find the answer to that on Stack Overflow, and it requires a change to program.cs. And I've got the code in here, which I've simply commented out at the moment. But this is the section that will allow us to re-log in if you log out, it'll take you to the login page. I'll put a link in the description to the Stack Overflow article I found. This isn't exactly the same as the answer on that web page, but it's close enough. All I did was to add this line in here to avoid some squiggly lines up here to do with the lambda expression. So now let's try one last time and see if we can log out and log straight back in again. So sign in. Everything as before, but now if I log out, I go back to the login form and I can simply choose my other user and log back in again. In most cases, of course, most users will only have one login, so won't need to switch between users. But this does present a better end to logging out than simply the sign out message. This, I think, is pretty much the end of the development of the application. We can probably make improvements here or there. But I think the next stage is to publish it to Azure. So that will be the subject to the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one, and hopefully the next video won't be too long coming along. Thank you very much.